We're having a bad day. The discharge planner at the hospital keeps calling Sue and saying, I want to discharge her to a skilled nursing facility. Well, that's utterly ridiculous. All she has is that wound vac, and that can be taken care of either by a home health nurse or by going to a wound care clinic every so many days. They keep telling her that home health care won't take people who live in RV parks. They won't work with them. They won't go to the RV park. So I called up a home health care agency to confirm that, and they said that's not true. So I called back the case manager, who has yet to return my call the second day in a row. And I am so frustrated with these people. Last time we had the same situation. She got a portable wound vac, and every 2 to 3 days we went to the wound care center. They changed out the bandage. Personally, I know how to change out the bandage. I've watched them do it so many times, but they say I'm not qualified. So now I'm going into the hospital early. I'm here early in the day, and I hope to run into that case manager and straighten them out. I don't want Sue in a skilled nursing facility. I was a nursing home administrator for 15 years or more in 4 different states. And I know what nursing homes are like. And I don't care if they call them skilled nursing facilities or what. They're still nursing homes. They still run on minimal staff. And I don't want Sue going out to the dining room, eating with a bunch of 90-year-old people who can't hear, who can't talk, who can't communicate. She's only 62. I do not want her in a nursing home. She's aware. She's alert. This is utterly ridiculous. So we'll go in the hospital and we'll see what's going on. I'll give you an update later. Rode my bike on this Playa Drain Trail. It's not much of a place to ride your bike here in El Paso. Goes down here, and then it keeps crossing streets. It's much worse than anything you'd find in Denver. I rode my bike over to the border wall, and what was crazy is I could see immigrants walking along the wall. You can see them with their backpacks and carrying everything they own. Probably walked all the way from Venezuela. That's so crazy to think. My heart goes out to these people. All right, I'm back at the hospital. Sue hasn't been discharged yet. They're working on getting her discharged. It has to do with her wounds not healing up right away. They're looking at some home health care. They were talking about skilled nursing facility, and we put the kibosh on that. Do not want to go to a nursing home. So hopefully they can get home health care to come, because she's going to have this wound vac that's on her wounds, her surgery incisions, trying to heal those up. And so home health nurse will have to come and change those bandages. Hopefully she'll get home tomorrow and get that nurse coming, get healed up, and we can get moving out of here. I'm getting tired of El Paso. I want to move on to Tucson. A little warmer there. The weather's a little more even keel, because it's going to get down almost, it got up to freezing last night. Tonight's going to get down pretty close again. So anyway, that's the latest update. Up on the roof again. If you are a full-time RVer, you definitely want to get either the flex tape or this Gorilla flex tape. It's something you always want in your RV. I've used it in 3 cases now. It's really valuable. It sticks really good. So see, I put the tape on the outside along the bottom, and then I put it on the inside, trying to press it down in here so no water leaks down there. And the 2 pieces stuck together at the bottom. So I know there's a little bit of a, looks like a hole right there. It should be good. So I think I got it fixed. And I sealed that back on. The double stick tape had come loose. I stuck that back on with silicone and it stuck on there good. So I think I got her fixed. And then I went over here on my antenna. I put around this wire. It had come off. And this is where water runs down this wire and goes down inside the RV. So I put that tape on there. Wish I could have got a little bit tighter. And I used it one more time on my, I have this big plastic bin that I put my bicycle in, and it was cracked in the bottom. And so I put it on there. And then also I had that plastic step that was cracked, and I used it on that. So there's just so many uses for it. And also, I found another place I used it. Let me show you this. On my awning, there was a section here where this plastic was broken right from here to here. So I used that flex tape on there, and that sealed it back up pretty nicely. So you can see all the good uses to have a roll of that all the time. All right, I'm having fun. It's my monthly rubber treatment. You've seen that video. If you haven't, I'll refer to it on how to treat the rubber on your RV. Look at this. I'm beside this beautiful Prevost. I don't see any slides on this side. These things cost like $1 million. Let's look and see what it looks like on the other side. No slides. Crazy. No slides on this sucker. But it is beautiful. All that chrome. Nice paint job. $1 million. And it's got double axles. It's too long for me. I'd want to go shorter. Anyway, so I got the tires cleaned off. All right, I got the rubber treated on the tires and waiting for that to dry, and then I'm going to wipe it off with that damp cloth. And then I came around here. Oh, I forgot to do my cord. I usually like to do my power cord. And then I did the steps, and then I was doing this oxbow, and I came to this part here and noticed that there's a hole in there. And this whole thing is supposed to protect that bar from in there. So I'm going to use some of this stuff and cut a little piece and seal that up. I don't know. I don't like how it's laying on there. But maybe the rubber treatment's making it so it's having trouble sticking. I'll have to watch it. But at least it makes it a mark so I recognize it. And then maybe it'd be better to use some other kind of sealant, like a caulk. But we'll see how this does for a while. Got all the rubber treatment done. Took me about an hour. Got to meet one of the neighbors in the meantime. She's coming back now. We got a lot of military people in this area. Okay, I got the wheels all cleaned up and rubberized, rubber treated, and got the chrome all shined up. Looking pretty nice. I came out and I was checking the oil in my car, and then I was going to check it on the RV. So I went to get the tools out, and I found out that I got a leak. I looked in here and I see my bay is all wet. So I start looking up along these pipes, and it looks like the water is dripping from that seal right there. From right in here. It's coming underneath this and dripping off there. So, yep, you can see it come down. So I don't know how to seal those. So I have to go up to the office and talk to them. Otherwise, have them help me out. Did want to tell you I could not get that Plex thing on the hose off. No matter what I did, I watched YouTube videos and everything. So I guess I'm going to have to pay the RV repairman tomorrow. And I charge the $100 an hour at least. And the trouble is, I was afraid if I got the piece off, then the hose is damaged. Then you have to cut the hose, and the hose is just barely long enough to reach that spot. So that's a whole nother problem, is getting that piece out of the hose and then cutting off that hose, and then it'll be too short. I'm not a plumber, and I never want to pretend to be. I hate plumbing. So I'll let you know what the RV repairman says tomorrow. Never fails, I get started on a project, and for example, my water leak by the water pump, I was struggling with that. And you saw, I finally hired an RV tech to do it because I didn't have the right tools. Talking to Mikey, and he had all the tools. So I came back, and I didn't video this. I cut the pipe, and I used his tool, and with a lot of effort, I got that Plex thing off. And then I went to hook it back up, and I couldn't get the new Plex to go over the hose. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Got to walk around the RV here. Show you this. Hey, if you don't have one of these kneeling pads, I highly recommend you get one of these. I'll put a link below on Amazon, but I love this thing because I hate kneeling down on this hard rocks. All right, let's check out this, what I'm talking about here. Then I'd use the Plex cutters. I'd use the Plex cutters and cut this pipe just a little bit because I'm telling you, it's tight. So anyway, I could not get that piece of Plex, this clamp, back on there. So right as I was working on it, who comes by? The RV tech. And he had a heat gun. And he took a heat gun to the end of that hose, and he was able to shrink it enough to get the Plex back on. Then he stuck it up on there and used that tool that I borrowed from Mikey and clamped it back on. It is bone dry. 2 days later, we have no leak. I couldn't remember if I told you all that I was riding my bike the other day and I got a flat tire. And fortunately, I had some of those tubes of CO2. And fortunately, I'd helped a girl with flat tire up there in Colorado, and she gave me the little connector. So I was able to limp my way back home, going through all 5 tubes of CO2. And I got home, but that tire was already pretty bald. And must have had a pretty bad leak because there was all kinds of green slime in there. Let me show you the old tire. So this is the old tire, and the tread on it was pretty wore down. So I knew I needed to replace the tire anyway. And this inner tube and inside the tire is full of green slime. So I know that it's a very bad hole that the slime could not heal. I bought another bottle of green slime because there's a lot of cactus in Arizona, and I'm going to put that in this new tube. I bought a new tire and tube together. I always forget to video, but I've got the tire pretty well back on. I got the inner tube with some air in it, so it's upright. They sent these extra little things to get the tire back on. I had to go on a YouTube video to figure out how to get this wheel off of the bike. I'm removing the core. Little tiny core. And they have this tool to get it out. Before you try and fill it, take off the little cap. It says you're supposed to use 4 ounces for a regular bike tire and use all 16 ounces for a motorcycle tire. And this being a fat tire, I go ahead and just use the whole 16 ounces on one tire. This way, if I get a thorn in here when I'm on those trails in Arizona, I'm not going to have a problem. Chances of flat will be slimmer. A little trouble getting the whole bottle in. There we go. I think I got it. Okay, we got most of it in there. So now we put this little spindle back in here. Got a special tool for alright, so that's back. So the next thing to do, got this nice little pump, runs on a battery. I had bought this thing to blow up the tires for the RV, but it just couldn't handle them. Inflate to 40 pounds. I don't like it 40. I go lower, like 25, because I like it a little more cushiony of a ride. All right. Gotta make sure I got the bead in all the way around. Looking good that way. I stopped at 20. Now we gotta get the tire back on, and on good, so it isn't falling off going down the road. This is where one of those bike stands would be really nice. Got him backwards. Everything was going good until I broke the derailleur off. It screwed on there somewhere, and when I forced the tire off, I broke that. Broke it right off. And I don't think that's going to be easy to replace, because this is all one unit. I think I'm going to have to take it to a bike shop.